Hello, good afternoon. So I am headed into the office because I have a 1 o'clock appointment today, and then I've got a ton of paperwork to do. So I'm going to spend the rest of the day doing paperwork. I think I have a 5 o'clock too, but yeah, I got a lot of paperwork to do. That's what most of today will be spent doing is paperwork and getting my classes completed. Good afternoon. All right. So this is a genuine question, y'all. Are people today even capable of having healthy marriages? Are people today even capable? Oh, I don't have my seatbelt on. I'm in here just riding without my seatbelt. Are people today capable of having healthy relationships or a healthy marriage? Like, I'm really starting to question that people today, they lack some basics, some foundational things that they need to have in order to be in a healthy relationship. And it pains me to say, that this short-term mating that we're doing, like, is that all? Is that it? Like, is this what it is now? This short-term mating that we're doing and that we have been doing since the advent of dating apps. That really, really worries me, because that one thing, that one thing, I consider all of that one thing that could destroy us as a society. That could topple our complete society. Because remember, our society, the foundation of our society is actually family. It is, you know, man, wife, it's man, wife, and children. So I'm starting to get really, really concerned. And if I'm being honest, my concern is not even for myself, right? Like, I've had a good run. I always tell people this. I've had a good run. I have a good life. I've got to experience more in my life than most people. So I consider myself to be in the 10% of people that, at my age, I've had a fabulous life. And I've gotten to do a lot of things. I've hit a lot of major milestones in my life at my age. And so, I'm good. If I don't get another husband, I mean, I'm certainly not having any more children. Um, if I don't go nowhere or do nothing, like, I'm good. I've lived a really good life. But you must understand that what concerns me about what's going on right now is I have 3 children. I have 3 young adult people that are a part of my legacy, and it would really disturb me to think that my legacy could stop with them. Like, if they don't get married, if they don't have children. So I have a special needs daughter. She's autistic. She's on the autism spectrum. Very high functioning. However, it is unlikely that she will have any children. Okay, so I've already come to that understanding long, long time ago. That daughter will not bear any children. She will not have any children of her own. And she's actually told me that many times, that she don't want to have no kids. She don't want that much pain. She don't want that much blood and all this other stuff. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. I was like, okay. So we have that understanding that she's not capable of properly parenting a child. And so I've taken steps to ensure that that won't happen. So she will not bear any children. I have a set of twins, boy, girl, and I would like to see one or both of them, be married, have children of their own, and go through the natural maturation process, which is, to be a grown up, to grow up, to get married, have a family, buy a home, right? The whole nine, the dream, the fantasy that we all, talk about and dream about. I would like to see my son and my daughter, experience that. But based on what I'm seeing right now, like, it's not looking good. And, statistically, people will say, well, because they come from a divorced home, their mom and dad are divorced, statistically, their chances of divorce go up. Yeah, that's true. And you add to that right now, like, forget the fact that, okay, me and their father are divorced. It's like people are just different. Like, people are just different. It's like they can't do hard things. They can't be inconvenienced. They don't know what sacrifice is. They don't know what it is to, be tolerant or to recognize a lack of imperfection in people. Like, yeah, if you're not doing everything right at all times, oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, this ain't the relationship for me. Oh, this person is toxic. Oh, he's a narcissist and all this other stuff. Like, that's what they're being raised in. That's what they're raised to believe. That any problems, any inconvenience, any sacrifice, any compromise means, oh, nope, don't do it. Don't do it. You're with the wrong person. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't be with them. They're this, they're that. And I'm not sitting here saying that we should tolerate abuse, because y'all know how I feel. That's the one reason that I give everybody, yeah, you need to leave. You need to leave the relationship. The relationship should end. Okay? That is, in my opinion, the one reason why relationships need to end. If it is abusive, if it is neglectful, if it is emotionally abusive, if it is physically abusive, verbally abusive, if it is chronically abusive, if you feel abused in your relationship, you need to leave. You need to leave. I'm not talking about that, though, y'all. Y'all know I'm not talking about that. Come on. We're grown-ups. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about somebody's breath smelling in the morning, or I'm talking about somebody using the bathroom all the time, or I'm talking about, somebody, leaving their toothpaste, spittle in the sink, right? You're not being abused, right? It's all kind of little annoying habits that people have. Not picking up their towel, not putting their clothes in the hamper. You're not being abused. I hate to break it to you, but if your partner is doing that, if your significant other is doing those little petty things, you're not being abused. Okay, I hate to break it to you, but you're not being abused. So, those are annoyances. Those are things that get under our skin, and we need to, address it and figure it out. But here's a little piece of statistic based on Dr. John Gottman's research. So he is the grandfather of couples counseling, 45 plus years of clinical research on couples. And he says 69%, I want you to really let that number sink in. 69% of all problems, all issues in a couple, in a marriage, 69% of them, there's no solution. There's no solution, right? It's just people being people. It's just people being imperfect. It's just people rubbing each other the wrong way. That's 69%. He says that if you have problems and there's a solution, you should apply the solution. Solve your solvable problems. But just know that most of your problems, there's really no solution to it. It is just, again, your person's imperfect. Your person has quirks. They have things about them that annoy you, that get on your nerves. And that's that. That's a big number, 69%. So that's what I think people today, they need to hear: statistical information on relationships, clinical information on relationships. And they need to operate in, realistic standards, not unrealistic standards or unrealistic expectations. That's a lot of what's going on. We have very unrealistic expectations for people. And right now, let me just say this. People are on my nerves. Like, I'm going to take a break from after this live until Monday. I I may post something on Sunday in honor of my father for Father's Day, but y'all on my nerves. People are on my last nerve right now. Like the things they say, the things they do, the lack of critical thinking, it grates my last nerve. The lack of empathy, the lack of compassion, the intolerance, it just gets on my nerves. And yet, I feel called to help people. Like it's the weirdest thing. I feel beyond annoyed, and yet I feel called to help people. I feel called to talk sense into people or to try. Oh Lord. So just understand, imagine how God feels. That's what I do. Every time I get irritated with people, I imagine how God must feel. Like, oh my God. And I made y'all. Like I created y'all. I created this. I did this, and look at what y'all doing. That's how I be thinking. But it's a real question. Are we made? Is it possible for us to be in healthy marriages or healthy relationships? Like, are we broken past the point of being fixed? I mean, clearly there are a lot of people who are in healthy relationships or in healthy marriages, but it seems like the number is vastly dwindling. Like lots and lots of people. And then I have premarital couples, and they'll say, it's so hard to find these marriage mentors you wanted us to find. You wanted us to find, couples close to our age, couples who are a little older, and couples who are even older, right? So I asked them to find 3 couples. A couple that's closer to their age, a couple that's like 5-10 years older, and a couple that's 20 years, much older. And they're like, man, it's hard. It's hard to find healthy couples. It's hard to find healthy relationships. And I'm like, but I have to pray for them. I have to try to work with them, because here's what I know for certain. People are going to continue to get married. People are going to continue to partner. People are going to continue to be in relationships because we're built for it. And so all of these people right now that are running from that, all of these avoidant people, all of these people who are incredibly fearful or emotionally unavailable people, here's what I find so frustrating about them. All the issues that they have, all the problems that they have, right? And as cold as they are, as shut down or shut off as they are, as, emotionally unavailable as they are, they keep picking people. Like they keep picking people. They're like, you. And I'm just like, seriously though, like, if you're not emotionally available, go somewhere and sit down. Be by yourself. Like they will still pick people, y'all. They will pick people. And it's like, okay, yeah, you. And then be annoyed when the person want to spend time with them. And then be annoyed when the person call or text or, oh, we should go out. We should do something, blah, blah, blah. Like, be by yourself. That's what I honestly just don't understand. And I never will. I don't understand the dismissive avoidant person. I understand the fearful avoidant person, as I used to be one, right? I understand the push-pull of, I want to be with someone, but I'm afraid. I want to be with someone, but I fear being betrayed. I want to be with someone, but, it hasn't worked out in the past. Like, I understand that person. And that person needs to get it together too. They need to stop the back and forth, the hot and cold, and they need to sit down with themselves and heal. That's what I had to do for years and years, right? And I had other relationships in those times, but I healed in those relationships. Like those relationships helped me heal quite a bit. And I had to put some of those kind of toxic ways behind me. I had to like really work through some of that stuff. Okay. But the dismissive folks, like, I don't understand them. I really don't. Because if people annoy you that bad, or you don't want somebody calling you and texting you and depending on you and wanting to see you and wanting to be with you and just don't do it. That's the part I don't get. Why are you doing it? Why do you continue to find yourself in these situations? Like, sit your behind down somewhere and go off and be by yourself. And quite frankly, if most of the dismissive avoidant people did that and just worked on themselves or focused on their goals or focused on their work or their career or whatever, trust me, the dating pool would clean up a lot. Like, the dating pool would clean up a lot. It would clean up a lot. Okay? But they're not going to do that. In their toxic way, they're going to keep, reaching for the thing that they swear they can't stand. They going to keep, getting into these situationships and these friends with benefits, and they're selfish. A lot of it is just being selfish. And the truth is, I'm not going to dog the dismissive avoidant people out too bad, because they are traumatized as well. They have their traumas, they have their wounds, they have stuff from their childhood, they got stuff going on. But man, y'all, sit down. Like, just seriously, sit down. Just recognize that, the ways that you have, they're hurtful to other people. They're destructive to other people. Like, you got people questioning their whole existence because of the things that you're doing. Like, sit down. Go somewhere and sit down and figure it out, because it's destructive. You are destroying other people's self-esteem and self-worth. Okay? But that's all the insecurely attached people. The anxious people too. The anxious people, them and their protest behaviors, them and their hypervigilance, them and their, wanting to know what you're doing all the time and constant reassurance and all of that. All the insecurely attached people. Like I said, I used to be one of them. And it's exhausting. It's downright exhausting. That's why I didn't have no choice. My back was against the wall, and I was like, I can't keep doing this. I have no choice but to heal. But to heal. Because it's just exhausting, the back and forth. I can't do it. So we gotta heal. We gotta heal. We gotta try to heal. And some of that healing, believe it or not, is going to be done in relationships. However, what that healing looks like is that you come to the other person and you tell them in the most vulnerable way you can what your stuff is. This is what I do. This is me. This is my stuff. I push people away. I'm emotionally unavailable. I have a lot of fears around intimacy. Like, seriously. That's how the healing is going to happen. You have to, yes, you can heal in relationships. Yes. You going to have to own your stuff. You're going to have to say to that other person, hey, I'm going to need you to hold me accountable. I'm going to need you to call out some of these things if you see me doing them. And then I'm going to take the initiative to, okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm not going to do that. Or if I shut down, or if I withdraw, if I push you away, call it out. That's how the healing happens. Same with the anxious people. If you call out my protest behaviors, call out my constant need for reassurance, call out, me flipping out or flipping off at the mouth, call that out. Right? And you got to use empathy. You got to use compassion to do that. You're going to do it in love, but you're going to do it. So this, what you're doing here right now, like, that's how I call it out. I'm stoic, I'm calm, and I'm like, hey, so this right here, what you're doing right now, this isn't good. This is not helping to, hold the connection. This is not helping to improve the connection. It's doing the opposite of that. What else can you do? What else you got? Okay, so you screaming and yelling and crying and throwing things, you shutting down, you not returning my calls, you not returning my texts, like, that's not helping to bond the connection. Quite the opposite. To be stress-free says most of the time is the other person. I would love for you to expand on that. Just expand on that, because we have to take ownership and accountability for ourselves, right? Everybody plays a role. Everybody plays a part. Okay? So it's not just the other person, it's us. I play a role. I play a part. If someone brings something to me in a way I don't like, I'm going to respond in a way that I think is actually going to improve that interaction, not the opposite way. So that's for all you people who say I match energy. The I match energy people, y'all are the problem too. Okay, y'all are the problem. Okay, he said I agree with what you say. Okay, I just wanted clarification. I didn't know if, yeah, y'all, the I match energy people, y'all are a problem. Okay, because us doing the fight fire with fire, like, what is the point of that? Like at some point, someone has to be the grown up. It's going to always be me. I'm going to tell you that right now. I will always be the grown up in any given situation until I need to leave you alone. So the ultimate boundary that I set with people is I don't deal with them. That's the ultimate boundary that I set with people. I just leave them clean alone. But prior to it getting that bad, I do not match negative energy. I only match your positive, uplifting, kind, loving energy. When I feel negativity coming toward me, the first thing I say is, are you okay? You see that? That one sentence. If you don't leave here with nothing else in this live, I want you to leave here with that sentence. When someone comes for you, when someone snap off, when someone yells or screams or just gets completely out of pocket, when someone is rude, when someone is nasty, that's the only thing I want you to say in response. Are you okay? That's it. That's it. That's your tool. That's what you're going to take out of this live today. Start doing that more. Start working on taming your own ego. Because it's your ego that wants to meet fire with fire. It's your ego that says they're wrong for doing this or that. They're bad for talking to me like that. Okay, take right and wrong out of it. Take good and bad out of it. Take the polarity out of it and just respond with, are you okay? Okay, that's it. Coach Relo says, anxious avoidance leaves me confused. Like, what are we doing? Okay, yeah. Like I said, I want to see these insecure attached people. I want to see them do some work. And guess what? They can do that work in relationships. They can do that work on their own. But the first step that a lot of them will not take, especially dismissive avoidant people, they will not acknowledge their stuff. There's nothing wrong with them. Their childhood was perfect. Mom and dad was so great. And I'm so great. I'm doing, everything is great. I'm so great. My childhood was so great. That's the first red flag right there. Because anybody that's lived through childhood, you need to be sitting on somebody's couch. Okay? So you're not going to sit here and convince me that you made it out of childhood alive, like I did. And y'all know my story. I've already shared my story. My mom's been married 3 times. My dad's on his 4th marriage. Okay? Went to what? 2 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 3 high schools. Okay? So now I am blessed, and I thank God every day. I do. I thank God every day. I'm blessed in that I never experienced any sexual abuse, any sexual assault, any rape, any physical violence, So I feel blessed. I feel like God, he covered you, girl. He covered you, girl. He was like, I know it was confusing emotionally. I had a lot of confusion and chaos that was emotional in my house, but I was not physically abused. I was not sexually abused. Ain't nobody cuss me clean out. That's why I feel a way about parents cussing at their kids, because I never experienced that, and I don't do that. Make it make sense. Why do you have to talk to your child worse than a dog? I don't understand all the cussing. It's detestable to me. Sometimes I'll get in my feelings and I'll get close. People make me get close to cussing, but that's when my emotional maturity kick in. I gotta thank you so much, Garland, for buying a badge. I gotta watch myself and watch my mouth, because God has called me to something higher. So he's always reminding me of that. I've called you higher. Okay. So you have to be a good role model, Anita. Okay. But that's a real question. Are we cut out today to be in healthy relationships, to be in healthy marriages? Do we have what it takes? Because I got 35, 40-year-old clients, never been married, have no children, and they can't even have a regular relationship. Their relationships are faltering. They're really struggling, and they're grown. 40 years old is a grown adult. That is insane to me. And it's like this, what do I always say? It's this extended adolescence. It's like nobody wants to grow up. Everybody wants to be Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. Nobody wants to grow up. Nobody wants to take on any responsibility. Nobody wants to sacrifice. So, I can't get down like that. I didn't come from that. I didn't come from that generation where we just wanted to play, just constant play, constant dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. Like I did not come from that. That's why I can put this phone down. People ask me all the time, I called you last night. I called you. I said, yeah, because I go in the house, 7, 8 o'clock. I dock my phone upstairs and I go about my business. I go about the business of living. See? Because I didn't come from this. I didn't come from, because even men will say that. Oh, you didn't call me back. You didn't text me back. I know your phone is in your hand. No, it's actually not. So I am about to walk into my office right now. I'm going to dock my phone, turn the ringer off, and I will not look at it again until 8 o'clock. See, because that's the generation I come from. So I don't know what y'all on. All right, I got to go because my client going to be in here any second. Have a fantastic day. Ponder that question. Just think about that question, okay? Yeah, he's right. 16, you were grown back in the day. No excuses. Yeah. So I don't know what y'all doing now. Y'all 40 years old and y'all can't get it together. So I can't with y'all. All right, have a great day. The masterclass is on June 23rd. It is 7:30 p.m. You can register at the link in my bio, my pillar link, and I hope to see you there. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And as always, stay open to love.